Why does an elephant sound like a trumpet? Trumpeting. Elephants trumpet when are highly stimulated. That's Alabama's elephant mascot. It's all about the trumpet, the horn, the Antichrist. They are Ghost in the Machine University. Alabama fraternity is called the Machine. I listened to Gary Danielson refer to them many times on TV as their football team as a machine. We know about the ghost in the machine, which is the fallen angels of the technology or the AI. And like we've shown you many times, that's the iron mixing with clay because the entities are in the technology. And it is through the technology, like Reagan in The Exorcist was entered through a Ouija board by her just playing with a Ouija board, she was entered. So when people worship the image of the beast, they will just be entered. It will, but the mark of the beast is a spiritual mark. God seals his on their foreheads. Satan, of course, then will be sealing his on their foreheads. It's a spiritual mark, though a literal mark will probably manifest on their foreheads. And so you've got the Machine social group, the Machine, the former Alpha Rho chapter of Theta Nu Epsilon at the University of Alabama, is a coalition, Penhalic sororities and IFC. It is one of the most, probably the most powerful fraternities in the USA. It says that formed a secret society with some degree of influence over campus and Alabama state politics. The group, and of course, Alabama, the state. My father was born there, so I'm not hating on Alabama. Don't let the pride settle in. But that was the first state that made the pagan Roman Christmas a holiday. They were founded in 1888. There's your 888 connection. And Pink Floyd did a video, Welcome to the Machine, and you will see the Crimson Tide and what the Crimson Tide is. And there's the monoliths that were popping up, and in 2001 A Space Odyssey, and they were popping up, and I think in 2020 or 2019, the monoliths. And the red wave of the Crimson Tide is the blood of the saints. When the AI, when the ghost in the machine, when the people are possessed, all goats, and there's the arms coming up and the people drowning from the red wave. And that might really be all the goats that have now been succumbed and possessed by the fallen angels and their god, that monolith. This is the Pink Floyd Welcome to the Machine video, which came out, or at least on their website, August 31st, 2018. See how it works? The horn of Daniel 7 is the Antichrist. Jesus said the Antichrist would be here in his own name, and a horn is a trump, a trump, a trumpet, a trump, a horn, a trump, a trumpet. They're all synonyms. Trump is literally here in his own name. We're just waiting on him to he's not the Antichrist, though, until he takes that right eye deadly wound, which is the white horse. It's the crowning moment, crowning day, the crowning achievement, just like Jesus was crowned with glory upon his death and so forth. So their world is an upside down version of that. But that's why Alabama has been propped up, because they are Ghost in the Machine University. Florida is Devil's Advocate University or Antichrist University, and they now have their 7th coach since Spurrier, Hitler's birthday. There are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, but 2 were not fallen, and that would be Urban Meyer and Spurrier. And of course, the Gators are a joke right now. The Gators have always been a joke, throwing the shoe, giving the LSU then kicking the game-winning field goal, one coach talking about death threats, and then he's out, and Dan Mullen finally gets the team, but yet he's too lazy to recruit. He'd rather ski behind his boat. It's just a joke. Everything in college football is staged. It's faked. It's all about Fansville and Dr. Pepper and all that kind of stuff. It's the AI writes the script of everything that takes place on this earth, and there's very few things bigger on this earth than college football and the NFL, the pro football. It all represents the symbolism of their world. Let me release this Bible study. So Welcome to the Machine is all about the iron mixing with the clay in the book of Daniel. The Iron Bowl, get it? The Iron Bowl, Alabama, the state of iron. That's why Alabama's always been propped up from day one with Christmas, and because it's the state of iron. Same with the Pittsburgh Steelers that represented Gotham in The Dark Knight Rises. It's all about the iron and the steel, which is really all about the technology. And it goes down, it says the iron mixing with the clay, and clay, of course, are humans. And it says they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. That's the possession, but they shall not cleave to one another, because the human host will die off, just like the symbiote or symbiotic relationship between the entities that entered into the humans in the movie Venom. And Reagan in The Exorcist was also dying off in the movie until they miraculously cast out the demon and saved her life. But she was dying too. When the entities possess the body, the human will not live very long. And of course, that's why those that take the mark receive eternal torment day and night forever and ever, because it's fallen angel. Human goats do not receive eternal torment forever. That's another one of the big lies. But anyway, that is Daniel 2:41 through 43. It's all about the iron mixing with clay, which is all about the Iron Bowl, which is all about Alabama, the machine, the ghost in the machine, their big fraternity called the Machine, Nick Satan. He's been called Nick Satan by former coaches. So the media, which of course is of Mystery Babylon, Nick Saban's parallel to the devil. Nick Satan? ? Bleacher Report. And of course, Saint Nick, Satan, Santa, same letters. Florida Gator assistant refers to Nick Saban as the devil himself. This is all Mystery Babylonians told what to do so they can prop up. Nick, of course, comes from that Roman pagan religion, as did Urban Meyer, named after a pope. I mean, it's and the other, it was the Penn State coach. James Franklin calls Nick Saban Nicky Satan. That's the Penn State head coach. He called him Nicky Satan. And there's the video right there on CBS. James Franklin calls Nick Saban Nicky Satan. So they're giving you all these little, they're all just actors on a stage, but that's what they're giving you. And that's what the whole sports world, I thought maybe Florida was going to be propped up this year to win. So I was having fun with that. But then I saw, of course, their laughing stock, the Trojans, the Trojan horse. What is the Trojan horse? The Trojan horse is the AI. It's the ghost in the machine. So watch for USC Trojans, who won the He Is Man trophy. That's what Heisman spells. He is man, because Satan becomes man when he enters into the Antichrist. That will spiritually take place on the third day of his right eye wound. He will rise on the third day with that spirit. It will not be actually him that takes the deadly wound. That's why it says the eighth is of the seven. There's actually an eighth king of Mystery Babylon, but it says is of the seven because it's a body double switch. The twin towers, the twin trumps, they fell down. What rose back up was One World Trade Tower. 9/11 was actually 7-Eleven. September was once the 7th month, like October. Octagon, octopus was once the 8th month, as December. Decade, decimeter was once the 10th month. November was once the 9th month. October was the 8th month. That's why No Time to Die was released on October 8th, because it was all about 88, which is Trump in simple gematria, where A equals 1, B equals 2, C. And they admitted that Biff's character was based on Donald Trump and Back to the Future 2, and if he had casinos and all that kind of stuff. So you see the hair that Biff had and the money, the dollar. Trump's TV show began with the theme song Money by the OJs. You see the big gold T and the hair that Biff had and the picture of himself on the wall. It's all about Trump. Your whole life, you don't realize it's always been about Trump. And it's countless how many movies and TV shows he's been in. When you go to look at him up on IMDb, International Movie Database, he has been in a ton of movies and TV shows. And Back to the Future gave us Out of Time, because when we go Trump, you're out of time. We're in the very last days. We're just waiting on the right eye wound. You see that he's always in the news. He's always been this character. So this was the last thing. And his mugshot came out on 8/24, which is the day after Daniel 8/23. So the day after Daniel 8/23, or August 23rd, the day afterwards, he of course gave you that. Well, let's just read Daniel 8/23. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of dark sentences. It says a king of fierce countenance, excuse me, and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. A king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences. A king of fierce countenance, and that's exactly what his photo gave you. Okay. A fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences. And if you look that up, if we were just to go to the New Living Translation, let's see how they word it. A fierce king, a master of intrigue, will rise to power. So anyway, he had that fierce look on his face. The countenance, though, is talking about the look on your face. So anyway, that's Alabama. They're Ghost in the Machine University. They're always on top. All the teams, the Buckeye, the eye of the buck. It's talking about the right eye wound. LSU's right eye, the eye of the tiger. They have the right eye, deadly wound on the middle of their field. All the teams are repping, and a lot of them, like Michigan or Georgia, represents the actual members, the human members of Mystery Babylon, which is why Georgia just won 2 in a row. And all right. Anyway, love you.